Alright, what's up guys? So, we're back and we're doing a part 2 of our platformer tutorial. So this is going to be about how the platform detection, sorry. So, this is like running into walls and stuff. So what I'm also going to do is in this video, I just wanted to explain how like all the code that I wrote in the last one works and how it's going to work this time. So I'm going to do that after, like kind of as I'm writing the code because I'm going to need to make some changes to it. So, first thing I want to say is if you were not signed in last time, if you closed that tab of Scratch, I'm really sorry, but that's gonna reset all your progress because Scratch, because you're not signed in, Scratch has no way to save it. So, the only way that you can really keep it up is if that tab is still there. So I'm really sorry I didn't tell you that in the first one. If that happened to you, you can either watch my first video again and then come back to this one when you're ready, or you can sign in. There's a button that says press join Scratch right here. So it's really easy to do that. Takes like 5 minutes, so, or maybe even less, and it saves all your stuff. That's really cool. And what you can also do if you're signed in is you can share projects. So I can just search up games, I don't know, and then all these projects are shared. So by people that are signed in, when you're done with your project, you can press share, and then people can search it up and play it. So, anyways, if you did sign in, you want to press this button up here. It should be called My Projects when you hover over it. It's just a little folder. And then you want to go to your project and you want to press C inside. Okay. So, I did off camera, I just made some slopes so that you can just walk up them, but you won't be able to walk through the walls after this. So right now, if you look what's happening, you can walk right through slopes and through the bottom of platforms. So we're gonna fix that. Alright, so the first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to explain the movement better. First thing it did. So if the right arrow or the D, it could be WASD or the arrow keys, it's gonna change the X velocity by steps. So since we set the steps right here to 2.5, we are gonna do change X val by 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5 every time the right arrow is pressed. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do if key left arrow, we're gonna change it by steps times -1. So how I'm gonna explain this is I'm gonna teach you it through the absolute value block. So we're gonna make steps, we're gonna make them -2.5. Alright? So we can add this into here, and then we can take this out and put it here. So the absolute value of steps. So let's say if our steps are -2.5, then it'll make the steps 2.5. So what it's doing is it's taking the negative number and making it a positive number. So if I had the absolute value of -5, it would be 5. If I had the absolute value of -10, it would be 10. So it's basically switching it around. Now what we're doing when we do steps, step times -1 is basically the opposite of that. So we're taking the positive number of 2.5 and we're making it a negative number. Alright? So then when it says set xval to xval times friction, all this is it's adding a little, like, see that slide at the end? Because it's like slowly bringing down the speed. Alright, and then it's just changing the x by whatever the xval is. Alright, as you can see, I disconnected this. It wouldn't be very good to tell you what the code does right now, because the code is not really that good, and we're going to improve that. So, first thing that we're going to do is we are going to, well, code obviously, but we're going to make a variable, and we're going to call this variable slope. Alright, we're going to do for this sprite only, and we're going to click OK. Alright, we can hide this. And now what we're going to do is we're going to have an if touching level, and then we're going to do set slope to 0, Alright, now we're going to do repeat until block. We're going to get repeat. We're going to grab an OR. Oh, if your Scratch ever lags like that, what you want to do is, it's most likely because your project is still running, so you just want to press that stop sign, and then it'll stop the lag, if that's ever happened to you. Alright, so what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to grab an OR block. You're going to do if slope equals 8. I'm going to grab that slope block here. We're going to do OR. I'm going to do not touching level. Alright. Okay, and then we're going to do change slope by 1, and we're going to change Y by 1. So what this block is doing is basically, if it's touching the level, it's going to set slope to 0. Now, it's going to repeat 8 times. So this is, if we want to go up a slope, we can go up slopes that are 8 pixels high. So this wall is not 8 pixels high, or it's higher than 8 pixels, sorry. So you won't be able to go up it, but you'll be able to go up slopes that are 8 pixels or less high. So it's going to change the slope by 1, and it's going to change Y by 1, so that it can walk up that slope. Alright, now, we're going to actually duplicate this. So what that's going to do is I'm going to press right click, and then I'm going to click duplicate, and then I'm just going to delete all the code in it, because we don't want that anymore. And then, so what this is going to do is, if it's still touching the level after this, it's going to change Y by slope times -1, if you remember what that does. So basically what that does, once again, is it just converts a positive number to a negative number. And now, it's where it gets intense. So I'm going to write this block of code and then I'm going to explain it. We're going to do repeat ceiling of absolute value of x velocity. You're going to change x by absolute value of x val divided. Oh,
I didn't get that.
When I said x val, the Alexa in my room went off. That was pretty funny. I don't know if you guys heard that, but that was pretty funny to me. Alright, so we're going to go x val, and then we're going to do times -1. Alright, well, I'm definitely not going to say x val like that again, because my you-know-who will go off. Alright, and then we're going to put that in there, and I'm going to make a set x val block to 0. Oh, forgot to add one thing. Around this block, we're going to do an if touching level. My bad about that. So, this is going to do is, so after this code, if it's still touching the level, it's going to do is it's going to bring that Y right back down. So, if it's touching the wall, it's going to bring it right back down because it doesn't want it to go up the wall. Alright? And then it's going to repeat. So what the ceiling is, so this is basically always rounding up. So if you have a number like 0.6, that rounds up to 1, right? And if you have a number like 0.3, that rounds down to 0. But with the ceiling block, if you have a number 0.3, it'll always round it up to 1, no matter what the number is. It'll always round it up. There's also a floor that always rounds it down. That's what they are. And then abs of x velocity, that's just negative x velocity. And then if it's touching the level, so that's if it's running into the wall. If it notices that it's running into a wall, or just a steep slope that it doesn't want to go up, it wants to change x by the absolute value of x velocity divided by x velocity times -1. So the absolute value of x velocity is negative x velocity times x velocity divided by x velocity times -1. So basically, that's going to do is it's going to find negative x velocity and divide it by x velocity, and then it's going to, basically it's going to, I want to say change that number. Like, not change that number, sorry. It's going to convert that positive number into a negative number. I don't know what I was saying there. And then, oh, you want to set x val there to 0. Alright. Now let's go back to the y. So now that we're done with the x, we can add this y. Oh, we can add this y right back down. And what we're going to do is, in this top, it's touching level. We are going to do, we're going to actually grab this repeat. Okay. Just going to drag that out because we don't want it. And right here, I'm going to do repeat ceiling of absolute value of P1 yvel, or just yvel, sorry. And then we're going to just change all these variables to y velocity. Alright, so the only thing that we should need to do down here after this is just going to change this if touching level blocks that it actually doesn't sink in, because it's not the best way to do it like that. We're going to do if abs, we're actually just going to steal this code. We're going to do if absolute value of yvel, we do not want that, we actually want this. What am I doing? We want this. I want it to be equals -1 at the end, divided by yvel. I'm going to put this in here. Alrighty, so now should be smoother. Alright, let's try this out. Okay, so now we're going to go back and we're going to try to find our bug. So, okay, here it is. So this change x by block is meant to be a change y by block. So now I go into it. As you can see, I'm on top of it. I have smooth movement. I can go up this slope, but I can't go through the wall. It's perfect. There's no lag in this. It's lag free. So yeah, that's platform detection. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot, and it helps me out as a YouTube channel, because if I see that you guys are liking this, then I'll continue to post more videos. So with that, I'm Nate from Coding with Nate, and I'll see you in the next one.